think our little dog of 17 years died on Sunday morning. It was so sad, and we hardly recovered. So I'm just going to read one poem that I wrote for him, and he's in the garden now. His friend buried him in the garden under the cherry tree, and David's met him. He knows what he's like. One of our dogs. We had two, didn't we, in Paris, and they're both there now. Anyway, this is called Gussie Dog. Died the 10th of the 3rd, 2024, aged 17 years. Last night, you left by moonlight, tripping away from our room. You wanted to go. You called me throughout our last hours together. Those front legs, those long, beautiful legs full of power and strength stayed with you. 2 weeks ago, they were wrapped tight around your teddy. You are my sunshine, was always our song. Now I'm lost and alone. I tried to keep you, but you couldn't stay. Too ill to stay, yet not wanting to go. I talked to you of Jesus and how he wanted you. You would see Brother Alfie too, at the beginning of the new track. Last night we both saw you running free, a shadow on the wall, a silver projection on the handle of my torch, moving fast, just like before. An athlete, you're not content to stay in bed with legs that were dead, crippled by arthritis, and finally cancer eating away at your body. Friends talked of granting permission to go. We never owned you. Your eyes were shining as you stared into my soul one last time. I wanted you to live in me forever, my guide and my friend. You were wise. You spoke many languages, a philosopher par excellence. Your morality was beyond reproach. Can I message you in the grave, under the cherry tree where you were buried this cold winter's day? A blackbird sang its dawn chorus, a funeral aria just for you. You rested sweetly under the primroses of yellow and purple, like an emperor's blanket of gold and amethysts in the wild nature of things. How quiet it is, in the dark, alone, without your dear company. Now in the frozen winter light, your bed is empty, but I breathe you in. If only I could hold you in my arms again. But only in sweet memories can you be found. You're in limbo, en route for greater things. Fare thee well, sweetheart. And yeah, I'm just going to read that tonight, actually. It's for him. And it's amazing how, well, you know from Butter how close you can get to an animal. And animals are so you can trust them more than anyone else. You know, they love you and you can trust them. And we've been terrible today, but we're determined to do it because we wouldn't want to miss tonight. You know, we haven't. Robert's got his.
Broadcast from the BBC, reliving the memories of the 20th century. A conspiracy or a treaty didn't exist within the territory of the regime. The Siberian tiger's eye is on a punishment yard. Solzhenitsyn's icons burning in the time window, diamond from ashes. Burning shadow factories in the Ruhr Valley under the searchlights. The bomber's moon is over Dusseldorf, Stuttgart, and Bremerhaven. The concertos are echoes from the front line, the trenches of Gallipoli, breathing mustard gas speakers announcing our arrival. The Siberian tiger's eye is on the HMS Galahad's position in the Atlantic. I remember the last time we waged war. voyaging in darkness. A skyhook from the News Recruit Centre in the Thames Valley. A trick or treating on Halloween night in the Brocken Mountains. This is realpolitik in the 100,000 islands of prison camps. The Gulag Archipelago is a Beijing re-education centre in England. The list is extensive. The dissident elements signed up for program. Those who happen to be a Muslim or a child of the old school, broadcast from the Paris studios, Ashes, the North Atlantic convoys. I remember the Christmas broadcast to the troops in Ypres, 1917. I remember reading the Daily Telegraph, left on the barbed wire, in the front line manoeuvring skull and crossbones, a seance to stone and crows in the murder on the Orient Express, a fateful error in the perpetrator's part, Edgar Gatsby Burroughs and Al, not to mention Oscar and Noel. They might hang in Alabama or Oxford. The liver spots before an old leper, the hunter's eye, orbit the purlieus, a cockerel on the midden of Thermopylae and Sebastopol at dawnlight. I prematurely sent Cassandra to Troy to no avail in gasoline alleyway, Byzantium at the Fitzroy Hotel in Belgrade or Connaught Square. I'm off to Woking tomorrow to a laundromat for the embezzled funds. At the Savoy and Savile Row, I'm faithful in Venusberg under the hill. Our BBC coordinates office have been officially closed downstairs. It's mayhem since Brexit, an extraordinary sequence of events. Listening to the World Service, it's possibly an Orwellian conspiracy. It's possible. What do you think of Aston Villa's chances for the cup? May I read one more poem, David?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Recalling Ingmar Bergman. Recalling the world vision for the 20th century. We're all set up on a collision course for a planet Recalling Ingmar Bergman. Recalling the world vision for the 20th century. We're all set up on a collision course in planetary waves. Imminent death, so disaster relief for our families. The nuclear fusion instructor is in its epicenter. Chernobyl and Fukushima, the mountains of Fujiyama. Remember Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Boolean algorithms. History reported on the radio waves from the BBC. The court history is Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Enjoy the day with your loved ones known throughout the world as psychoanalysts or our negative memories, readjusting the Moebius strip into angelic candlelight, dreaming a dream of sanctuary within the sanctum, a script translated into Sanskrit, Cyrillic, and Aramaic. Agamemnon will help to keep the Baltic states free, recalling Ingmar Bergman's Seventh Seal. He believed our world was headed for its endgame. Thank you very much. Sorry about the glitch.
No worries at all. That's fine. Thank you so much. Let me just stop this and I will